Hey, good evening, everyone. How is everyone doing this wonderful Sunday evening? Linda will probably make it. I'm not sure. And we're waiting on Mr. Charles. But in the meantime, for those of you who don't know me, I am Nita, and I am one of the admins of this wonderful establishment. If you are brand new here, what this is all about is just another of our social gatherings, another way for us to get together and learn, share, and support one another, parent to parent. Um, so if you have a question, a suggestion, you want to share some good news, feel free to throw it in the chat. If you see a question you can help with, or you have any suggestions, throw it on in the chat. By the end, or towards the end, I will invite you up on the platform here. If you have a business, organization, you have an event going on, you are more than welcome to come on up and share that with us. So let's see who's here. There's Michelle. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Teresa, how are you doing? There's Pammy and Rihanna. How are you guys doing this evening? And please don't be shy. So if you on the outside looking in, hey, there you are, Mr. Charles. Let me put the link in there. If you are on the outside looking in, come on in, come on in. We don't bite. We don't bite. I'm going to put the link up in here for Mr. Charles. Let's see. I see Dinah. Thank you. You see I have on my tiara. Thank you so much. Victoria, how are you? Just got home from the laundromat. Oh, yeah, I'm dreading. I need to wash clothes myself. Thank you so much, Rihanna. I am enjoying it already. Hey, Kelly, how are you? Speak for yourself, I might. Oh, wait a minute. Now, see, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something. But I was reading Michelle saying, speak for yourself, I bite, I guess. Anyway, again, if you are new here, feel free to come on in. I do want to share a video with you guys. I know we were talking about aggression, so I'm going to share this video and we can share our thoughts. And even though we are on aggression, you can still chime in with whatever you want. How are you doing, Mr. Charles?
Oh, I'm doing great. How about you, Nita?
I'm doing wonderful. Fantastic.
Yeah. Had a great week. Got to meet my daughter for breakfast this
Yeah,
past
seen the pictures.
Monday. And then yesterday had my grandson and his fiance over for dinner.
Awesome.
And so Cindy, I got to meet her for the first time. And, and today I went out and gave a talk and just got back a little over an hour ago. So,
Okay, you had a full day, a full weekend.
yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so let me see if I can pull up the video. It is a news broadcast, and again, it's about aggression. And let's see, I have to find it. Let me get it up here first, you guys. And I'm gonna play the video and we can share our thoughts on this if all the ads stop coming up. All right, let me see. Share, present. We're going to. I know we were talking about the other day that mom that shared how she handled her son, which she did a great job. But then, there's always those other sides when it comes to aggression. And maybe you never know, someone can help. Okay, here we go. So can you guys see that?
Okay.
All right, let me start it.
Zesty Paws offers chewy functional supplements like probiotic bites and hip and joint bites, all with quality ingredients to keep your bestie feeling zesty. Buy top-rated Zesty Paws at retailers nationwide.
He went after the kids.
My autistic son is attacking me right now.
And I finally cornered him by the kitchen, blocked him, and I said, run, run.
I have a glass pantry, and he punched it and broke it.
He started screaming, ah! And then he slammed his hand into this glass. He had blood running down his elbows. Glass was everywhere.
Want to get in? No. Here you go, AJ.
As Tanika Clark's oldest son left in an ambulance, she made a decision.
We have a 19-year-old autistic kid here.
She wasn't going to follow that ambulance or pick him up from the hospital.
We've been waiting on the mother to pick him up since 1 p.m. yesterday.
Oh, the door is from him. Pow! I mean, it sounds like gunshots when he does it. It's loud.
Tanika Clark says AJ threatens the safety of her 2 other children.
Imagine you see somebody, a woman being abused. You're like, you need to leave him. You know, this is my son, though. It's different. He's literally attacking us physically.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
The 911 call, the last time I heard that they were locked in the bathrooms, terrified.
Imagining what I think is happening out there. We're really fast I'm fastest, so I would always get to the safe places first.
But you had to have safe places.
Yeah, we have like a bathroom because he would always the door for the bathroom is really strong.
How would you feel if you knew your brother was coming back?
If you bring him back, then I'll just be depressed again, and then I'm mild about it because I really don't know because I love him, but I just don't like the fact that he like not really ruined our life, but like did all this bad stuff.
Ready?
Hey.
Woo!
AJ's brothers say they used to enjoy playing with him, but as he got older, his behaviors changed.
The reason why 5 is my favorite number is because when I was 5 years old, that was when nothing bad happened.
I saw a room that's just filled with broken TVs.
Yeah, he broke all of those.
What made him so mad?
So mom tried to turn off the TV because she was trying to sleep, and then he got mad and he broke the TV. I mean, I actually got one time where AJ actually like hurt our mom.
He was chasing me, and then
like AJ and mom were over there. We were just looking all the way over there, and then AJ pushed him.
So this is from when the cops came.
AJ, what's going on? You all right?
Tanika Clark has called 911 in Roswell a dozen times in just 1 year.
We're going in a circle, you're doing the same thing.
Roswell police declined to comment on camera about its training or respond to calls like these. Public records show officers tried to help by making referrals to Adult Protective Services and calling EMS. But one metro agency was proud to talk about their effort.
We want to take an approach that's helping and not hurting.
South Fulton Police Lieutenant Nicholas Williams says every one of their officers takes crisis intervention training and a course on how to identify and relate to someone with autism. You just keep getting the same calls again and again to the same home.
Right.
What do?
We sit down with the family, the caretakers, the guardians, and we come up with a plan. So it's not just a one-off where we meet each other and then it's a hi and bye. We pass out our business cards, we form relationships and bonds.
You probably have plenty with my name on there already.
But AJ's family has enough of those business cards from police in Roswell to know those relationships aren't always enough.
AJ, we're going to be good for the night? We good? Yeah, listen to your music and we're good, okay?
Police can de-escalate, but they can't fill the gaps in our healthcare system.
If you put all of the burden on police, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Taking your son or daughter to an emergency room is not the way to move a person into services.
But Alan Morgan is one of those sources, often called upon to come up with a solution when that does happen. He leads the team at the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities that works to connect people like AJ with services.
It's not just matching people to open beds. There's no magic facility because we don't do facilities.
Morgan says when families leave their adult children at the hospital, it can take months to determine eligibility. State funding is limited, and Georgia's workforce shortage has reduced options.
If you have, say, aggressive behavior and you have medical needs, those settings are not as abundant as we would like.
The state is building a new crisis facility in Macon and 2 transitional group homes in Augusta, designed to help those that might otherwise end up trapped in the ER.
Sorry. It's just hard.
Tanika Clark says that help can't come soon enough.
I miss him so much. You have no idea.
But as much as her heart breaks, she's not picking AJ up until she can get the help she needs, the help he needs to keep everyone in the family safe.
I mean, if I was a father, I would probably miss my son. Yeah, that would be sad because, you know, he's dangerous, but you love him.
So, wow. What do we do as parents when, you know, we have no help? When situations like this arise. Now, what she did was for the safety of her 2 young sons. And you can't blame her for that because he was really aggressive. And, you know, you've seen, and there are parents that go through this. What are your thoughts? And yes, Rihanna, very hard to watch. It's bad that our states, our counties, our federal government does not have the funding or enough or won't give enough funding for families like this to get the help that they need. So you have to resort to the option. I'm not picking them up because there's no help. What are your thoughts, Mr. Charles?
Yeah, again, I mean, you know, in some cases, I mean, this is why there are institutions, why there are mental institutions and so on. And not that these mental institutions do a terrific job of caring for people who you know, can't be anywhere else. You know, in some cases, particularly you know, in the past, those have been places where, you know, torture went on and, you know, inhumane treatment. But, you know, there's no easy answer to the question when you have someone who family can't take care of him because he's out of control.
Yeah, well, just like the guy was saying, he runs the organization, but they can't keep him because of funding. So, you know, years ago, they closed a lot of institutions, which are very much needed. And I know here in Michigan, you know, a lot of institutions were closed. But what can you do when there's no money? And like she was saying in the article, and I should state, I was sharing that video for educational purposes only. It's a public video, so just to get that out there. But what can you do? You know, that parent, she was at a loss. She loves her son, but to keep her family safe, they're telling her to come get him. And she's saying, no, I can't. I'm not going to come get him. And then would that be considered abandonment? And if so, why? If you don't have the funding or the resources for my son or my child to get the help.
Yeah, of course, in this case, he's 19, so he's legally an adult.
Yes.
Which, of course, that makes a difference. But, you know, the question arises, what if he were only 16 or 17? What if he were below the age of 18 and were legally a child? And there comes a time when, the fact that the fact that he's legally a child doesn't mean that he can't, smash the whole house, wreck the whole house. Doesn't mean, and you get someone who doesn't care about the consequences of what he does, perhaps doesn't understand them, or at least doesn't care about them. Doesn't care if he wrecks the whole place he lives in, doesn't care what that does to those who are trying to take care of him. What do you do?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm thankfully don't go through this. Feel for everyone that does. She's strong. Hey, Roxy. She's strong because I don't have the heart to leave my child anywhere. A law passed here in Alabama recently where officers have to go through training to help with situations with special needs people. But yeah, just like the officer said, they do their best, but there's only so much an officer can do. They can be kind and show compassion, and they can know how to handle the situation. But from that officer's hands, they have to release that child back to the parents. And if that child is still acting aggressive, and they just can't drop them off at the hospital because the hospital, they don't have room for them, or they're saying, no, we can keep them 72 hours, but after those 72 hours, you have to come get them. Your hands are tied. So, like she did, she took them to the hospital and she left and said, I'm not coming back because there's no one to help. Hands are tied. Hey, Danielle.
Yeah, and the question arises, obviously because her son is legally an adult, that may change the legality of her doing that versus what if he were, below the age of 18, because, a 13-year-old may have the strength to completely wreck the house that he lives in and wreck it repeatedly, do the same kind of damage. And, what do you do here? It raises, important legal questions because, you're dealing with someone who's got the brains of a human, but got the behavior of a wild animal.
Hey, Danielle. I feel like some funding is misplaced. There are some agencies that get money but do not provide any services regularly. Right. Yep. That is true. I believe that also. But what can we do as a society to push the agencies? What do we do when our hands are tied? It is scary, Pammy. It is scary. It worries me so much more being single. It has to be all services involved. The firemen here always help Ralph. They have had some training here, but they need a lot more. The funding is the problem. Yes. Calling the cops for me would be a last resort. Yeah, I agree on that. One, because even though they say they have the training, there's some cops that may just don't understand, or, it's crazy. It's scary. The whole situation is scary. Roxy says he's legally an adult, but she's still responsible for him if she's got guardianship. Yes, that's true. But again, she has two young sons. I don't know whether they were like 7, 10. She has two younger sons. What would you do in that situation? You have two other kids you have to make sure that are safe.
And of course, there's the point she raises, because, I wonder if a parent under those, when you've got a child who's approaching 18 but is super aggressive, maybe you just don't bother with the guardianship process and that you put yourself in a position where you can legally disclaim responsibility for that youngster.
Mm-hmm.
Because the parent has to go through a process to obtain the guardianship. So maybe you just don't go through the process, and that way you leave yourself an out where if this child gets totally out of control, this young person gets totally out of control, you just say, okay, I'm not responsible for him anymore. Call the police or the fire department, whatever, get him out of the house, and then say, I'm not taking him back.
That's the scary thing.
Yeah.
That's the scary thing when you have to resort to that. And the thing is, a lot of us parents, you may have to resort to it, but you're scared at the same time because you don't know what that encounter would lead to. Because Lord forbid, if I was in that situation, I wouldn't want nothing bad to happen to my child. And I guess that would be in my head. Please don't hurt my child. I just need help. And if they don't understand that, I'm screaming, just help them. And they don't understand that. They think he's doing something else or trying to purposely hurt me and don't understand that this is just who he is. That's scary. That's scary. I mean, but what can we do as a society?
And the question comes up too, what can, let's say that, okay, he's admitted to a hospital now. He's in the hospital. What can the hospital do, particularly in terms of long-term consideration? Because, other than give him some medication that turns him into a zombie, basically, something that turns him, that now renders him docile, but that's all you can do with him is make essentially a vegetable out of him. I think a better term than zombie, a vegetable out of him, because otherwise you got unpredictable aggression.
Yeah, and I think it's only like a 72-hour hold, or I guess as he said, if they do stay in the hospital, it can take months and months before they can actually get the proper help that they need. But after the 72-hour hold, they're calling the parents, come get your child or come get your adult child. We can no longer do anything for this child. Michelle says, seems like she had no other choice. I mean, you're thinking of her family as a whole, right? But it is so tough to try to give opinions when you do not deal with this, right? Unfortunately, this happens far too often. Funding is a big issue, but let's face it, the mental health system in the U.S. is terrible. Yes.
Yeah, and it never has been good.
Mm-hmm. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah, because there are now closed mental institutions
yes.
that had a reputation of being torture chambers when they were in use.
But there also were some that had reputations of really helping people too.
Yeah.
So and they're needed. They're needed with the if we could get back to having institute, and I hate saying institution, but if we can have a facility that's meant to help our children with the doctors, the nurses, and all of the medical staff. Roxy says, I believe we are on our own because there are some mental or psych places where they can stay for a few days or months, but then they will send them right back home, right? Really, all they do while they are in those places is turn them into zombies by just sedating them their entire day without any help, just with no help at all. Right.
And sometimes, there are some situations for which there just is no good answer.
Right.
even the best of medical care, the best experts on autism, whatever you have there, sometimes, still you've got the fact you've got someone who simply is out of control, who doesn't have the mental controls that the vast majority of people have, including even the majority of people on the autism spectrum have these controls. This person does not. And you've got essentially a beast with human intelligence.
Well, I wouldn't say it were a beast.
Well, yeah, but it's almost like you've got a wild animal with human intelligence, almost like that. So it's you've got someone whose behavior is as difficult to control as that of a wild animal.
Well, yeah, difficult behavior,
and
for sure.
A person who does not care, either does not understand or does not care about consequences, either for himself or for other people.
Now that's better. Kelly says, several facilities. I had full custody of my son through a divorce and had to give all rights to his father. At the time, I had 4 other children. Okay, so Kelly, you've been through this same situation. Hi, Constance. The system as a whole still don't understand the needs of autistic people. There should be a place they can go to so that he can get the help that he needs. Calling the police only helps for a minute. They need to step forward, the agencies, the government, and help the parents after someone turns 18. It's as if they don't exist or have autism anymore. Something needs to be done. And I agree. Kelly says she relates. Hi, Ramona. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations again on your retirement, Nita.
Thank you. Thank you. Kelly says, my son has since passed away. I'm sorry to hear that, Kelly. I feel so guilty to have my son move to Michigan with his father. A lot to deal with as a mom, and the guilt. I can imagine the guilt, but no, you did the best you could. I'm absolutely sure. But yeah, you have to weigh things. You have to, think about your family as a whole. Rihanna says that is very scary. I agree with you, Nita. As special needs parents, is a fear. I feel we all have our babies getting mistreated. Yes. Right, Charles. Maybe she should have opted to place him in a home. It's like once we get old enough to where we won't be able to handle a situation like that because they are now stronger than us. Yeah, and I think a lot of us, and see, like me, I would never say never because you never know what happens. And maybe he wasn't like that 2 years ago. And I think they said something like that. The brother said when he was 5, everything was okay. But maybe all of a sudden it just happened. I know I could not imagine placing my child somewhere, and I'm able. I know it's something for us to think about, even if they're not aggressive, but maybe he wasn't like that a couple years ago, and maybe bam, all of a sudden his mental state just changed. What do we do? Danielle says that could end up homeless and alone if there is no one to oversee that. Yes. And that's another scary thing, Danielle. And there are some autistic babies out on the street. And maybe you've seen it too. There was on the news where a 27-year-old autistic guy got taken advantage of to rob a store. of all things. The girl gave him a note, told him to go in the store. He's autistic, he doesn't think like, the rest of us do. He went in the store, gave him the note, they gave him some money. He got back to the car that they were in. She told him to give him the money and run. She took off in the car. He was running. Police came and caught him. And from the story he's telling, the police beat him. He autistic. So, that's scary. So yeah, he didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, police, their view is he's running from the cops. We need to teach him a lesson. And of course, that's another problem is when police decide they need to teach a lesson to someone who's running from them, and sometimes they teach a lesson to someone who wasn't running from them. I remember in Texas where reading a couple of years ago, police were chasing after a suspect that was fleeing from them, and they found this Hispanic guy, Mexican American guy that was just minding his own business. They mistook him for the fleeing suspect, and they started beating him up. And then some other cops came along and said, "Hey, we got the suspect already, got him in custody over in the next block." And so then the cops left him. They didn't apologize, didn't do anything to make up for it. They just went and left him there, in the beat up state they left him in.
Wow, sad.
Yeah.
Kelly says, now I have another son, Jordan. He is 19 now. I just deal with it because I can't lose another child, even though I know it may come to this again. Oh. Well, bless you, Kelly. I know it's got to be hard, but, as parents, yeah. Ramona says, they just need to be patient and understanding. Get the information on that client. Listen to what the parents are saying, but they still need to know skills and how to take care of loved one and not be afraid. Yeah, that I think a lot of our service people, even doctors and nurses, need more training. But it's not just that. Even if they had the training, you know what I'm saying? Even if they had the training and they were doing the best they could, they still have to get that aggressive person somewhere. They have to either take that aggressive person back home or take that aggressive person back to the hospital. And like Roxy was saying, where they just sedate them and, then they want to release them back into the world. And like Danielle said, they can become homeless because mom and dad or just mom can't care for them because they have other children in the household and the hospital won't take them. They just let them back out on the streets. So, what can we do? Michelle says, I just wish I could win the lottery, open up a home for the autism community, hire all the best people, and find meds that will help without the drawbacks. Yes, 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 yes. Maybe one day, Michelle. Come on, y'all. Let's just get together and build Monopoly like city just for us and our family. Yeah, that would be awesome. Definitely. Those are bad cops. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Dinah. I think the services that a psychiatrist, therapist, or social worker should expand to include aggression prevention once the signs are there. Yes. Most times the aggression starts at a young age and shouldn't be just medication. It should be something like partial placement that the child could attend classes and social services and then come back home each night. Problem is that our kiddos tend to be bigger, taller, and can have the strength of two men. This is a very sad situation. And you are so right. yeah, as they get older, you know. Wow. Yeah, you'll get there, Michelle. You and Roxy put it together. Let's do this. Kelly says, is there something that we as a community can do? I don't know. What can we do? You know, there's got to be something. There's got to be maybe writing our congressmen and, you know, state representatives and tell them this is something that's needed. Get a petition going. You know, we need help. Maybe to be speakers to the emergency services. That's another way you can help. Write letters about our individual experiences with our kids. Yep, there's several things we can do to at least give them that push, you know. Flores. Hello. Narbis Flores. ADHD, PTSD, OCD, BPD, autism, anxiety, depression, mental illness has affected my life, perspective, and hobbies greatly, and I have learned to make this. Oh goodness, I'm reading this. Let me get you off of here. And to go here. Excuse me 1 second, you guys. We always get these Instagrammers with these you know, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see.
Spam.
An ASD teacher and myself literally talked about buying a place up like Highland Park and making it a city for autism population. There you go. If you guys don't know where Highland Park is, it's like within the city of Detroit. It's practically abandoned.
The Highland Park I know is a wealthy suburb of Chicago. That's a different Highland Park, though.
Yeah, there's a couple, but we're talking about here in Michigan. So yeah, buy it up. Keep that idea, Danielle. You never know.
Yeah, because buying up that Highland Park, that would take a lot of money.
Well, get the right investors and people involved. Yep. You never know.
But the Highland Park in Detroit probably be more reasonable.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's what
more
I'm
doable.
referring to. Hey Monique, how are you? Long time. How have you been? Well, you guys, anyone have anything to add? Anyone have anything to share? Let me see. I skipped over a couple comments because we were talking about this aggression. But let me see. I saw this on Google, apparently ABA program. Hey, Jacquees, how are you?
Hey, Jacquees.
Teresa says the following week I have my triannual IEP meeting, and I will be having my son sit in on the IEP meeting. I also found out that my son has a very high IQ. My project manager does not want to transfer my son to a new school at all. His teachers and our school psychologist wants to transfer him to another junior high. Okay, awesome. Awesome.
Well, hopefully you as mother will decide what the best thing is. You have experts wanting two different things for him. You're the parent. You decide what's best for your child.
Michelle says there are so many abandoned places that could be useful for those. Yes. Yes. And Monique says, Justin, Justice and I are good. That's wonderful. Okay, guys, I'm going to put the link in. If you have anything to add, you want to share, good news, bad news, you have an event that's coming up, you want to introduce yourself, you want to say anything, something inspirational, please feel free to click on the link and come on up. A couple things. There are a couple of autism walks, but one I know right offhand is Autism in the D. They are working along with another organization, and please forgive me, but if anyone is interested, visit Autism in the D on Instagram if you'd like to walk this April. There's another walk. If you guys know of any walks in your community, please feel free to share. Walk. Next month is Autism Awareness Month. I'll probably do the photos again. I'll put something up in a week or two and let you guys know if we'll do the beautiful faces of autism for the month of April.
Hi, Teresa.
Hi.
Hey, Teresa.
That's basically what happened to my friend last month.
What's that?
Her son has beaten her up plenty of times, and she ended up in the hospital just last month, where he basically put her unconscious and all that. But thank God there was an officer that stood by her, and basically they had to arrest him and all that. But thank God the dad's bailed him out, and now she signed over her rights over to her ex-husband and gave him everything and all that to him and all that, because she ended up in the hospital so many times because of him. And he's in his 20s.
Yeah, well, she had to do what she had to do.
Yeah.
And it's possible that his dad might be able to handle him where she can't.
Yeah, she just couldn't, because anything will triggers him for no reason, and he just blows off on her, and she's had bruises all over her arms, her body, and everything. It's just crazy and all that.
Yeah. Scary.
Yes.
Crazy. We just need help. We need help for our babies.
Well, thank God the officer stood right next to her and was there for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My little grandson that is autistic is starting to sit on the potty chair. Awesome.
All right, Callie.
Awesome. So anyone else want to come on up? Share some good news, some bad news, some.
Well, actually, I'm the reason I'm fighting for my son to go to another junior high, because out of his class, he's the only one that cannot read and write.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, and the teacher can't just stop the class and work with him one-on-one, and all that. So I agree with the teacher and the school psychologist. Sorry about my voice, as my allergies kicked in really bad.
No problem.
And so I agreed with his teacher, because he has a really high IQ and all that.
Okay.
So we're trying to get him into an autism program at another school, at another junior high that will be fit for him and all that, so he could be with other kids like him, and so he be around smaller classrooms and all that.
So what is he in now? He's in general pop.
He's in special ed.
Okay.
But
it's
he's
a
also
bigger classroom.
There's about 14 kids.
Oh yeah, that's.
But he's also in a gen ed, a regular history class with about 30 kids, and then the same thing with science. The same thing with about 24 kids.
Okay.
So it's a lot more right there for him that he gets frustrated.
Yeah.
And all that. So basically, I'm recommending him go to a different school, so where he could be helped.
Yeah.
And all
you're
that.
doing the right thing. You're doing
the
right thing. Yeah. Make sure your baby.
But our school psychologist wants to keep him at the junior high where he's at now. But what I think is like the school psychologist, not school the project manager doesn't see him on a daily basis, on a daily basis and all that. Doesn't go there and see how he's doing in his classes. The school psychologist does. His teacher knows.
Okay.
And I get reports about him that he doesn't want to do his schoolwork because it's just too hard. He's more of a hands-on person that where he likes to do science experiments.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all that.
You know, and
be a scientist.
Sometimes even seemingly small things can you know, it's a matter of teaching the way the child is able to learn. Because I tutor an autistic boy in math, and of course, you know, whereas math has always been my best subject, for him it's something he struggles with, and you know, you find both. Temple Grandin struggled with math, but anyway, you know, some things I've discovered. One, I had some discussion with his mom about this. He seemed to do good on multiple choice questions, but I figured out what he was doing was looking at the answers and seeing if they fit. And so he wasn't really following the process to come up with the right answer. He was just picking the best answer out of the three. And usually he got the multiple choice ones right, but when you put it in the form of an open-ended question, he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And so that was one thing that, you know, you don't really test him with multiple choice. You don't really test whether he knows it, because he can then try each answer, trial and error, and find the right one. But the other thing, I found that, you know, they were giving a model. This is how you do this, and I found that that they were doing too many steps at once. And so what I did was I wrote down a step by step, broke it down how to do it, and that seemed to help with that type of problem.
Again, you figured it out. Awesome. Danielle says, I became a chaplain with the first responders. I'm trying to really work with the autism and mental health community. I keep all of this stuff in mind. You are awesome. Yes.
Very nice.
That's how our police department is like that too. They got trained on how to deal with the autism community and all that. They got highly trained and all that. So that's which is good right there. It's about time that our police departments get trained on how to deal with our kids who are on the autism spectrum.
Yeah. Now, where are you, Teresa?
I'm in Modesto.
Okay, California. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I'm not missing anything here.
Yeah, the kid that I tutor is in California also. He's near Sacramento.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not that far from where I live.
Yeah.
There's okay. Yeah, that's true. A lot of abandoned. Just wanted to make sure I'm not missing anything. But I think tonight was a great discussion. I guess all of us put our minds together, whatever we can do or feel we can do a little part, even if it's just one part. One person can make a difference. And I see everybody's head, Danielle, Michelle, Roxy. Those ideas are moving. But let me see what Michelle says. I have to go, but I want to put a final thought. Remember, you are Mama Papa Bears. Yeah. Take care of your cubs. You are all warriors who are winning the war by each battle you fight. You are loved. You are beautiful. You are enough. You are the voice needed today. Take care of your own needs so you can stay strong and do all that is needed. You mean more to the world than you can imagine. You are so much stronger than you know. You got this. We love you so much, and we are so thankful. Beautiful, Michelle. Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you, Michelle. Hey, Sonia.
Hey, Sonia.
It's Sonia.
Hi, Lori. Yes. Well, you guys, I'm gonna log off. I appreciate each and every one of you. Any final thoughts, Mr. Charles?
Oh, just wish everybody a good week.
Teresa?
Same thing, and protect those babies.
Yes, protect those babies and love
And
on
I
them.
love on DeAndre's videos on TikTok.
DeAndre,
I get a kick out of them.
Yeah, that's
my
my baby.
My son is now trying to do push-ups just like DeAndre now.
Oh, he wants to exercise. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been trying to learn. I tell him, like, David, watch this young man. His name is DeAndre. He also has autism, just like you. Look at him do his push-ups.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants to be just like DeAndre.
Very good.
Have to get a workout Zoom one of these days where the kids can just come on Zoom and do some exercises.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. And let DeAndre lead the program.
Glad you are okay, Mr. Charles.
Thank you, Lori.
Definitely a great subject. Such a beautiful group of autism mamas and papas. Thank you, Kelly. Have a great week, everyone. Self-care, practice it. And we will hopefully be talking soon, Danielle. I got to get
Danielle
after I get some, at least a week rest, all that good stuff, you know. I got a free psychiatrist. I got PTSD. Okay, that's awesome.
Well, good that you got a free psychiatrist. Too bad about PTSD, though.
Right. I'm trying to get better. Okay.
Well,
awesome.
hopefully you'll get the help you need.
Have everybody heard from Kate lately?
Yes. I think Kate has been busy. You know, she started her organization, but she hasn't been around. So I see her on Facebook, but you know,
by now her baby must have been born too, so she's probably taking care of her baby.
I don't think she was pregnant. I don't.
You don't think she really was?
No, no indication. But who am I? I don't know.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. But in the meantime, in between time, I love you all. And I will talk to you guys same time, same place next week. Natalie says, thank you for this topic. It has given me a lot to think about. I am planning and I need to start planning. I have a plan. I'm assuming, and I need to start planning. Yep, we all do.
Yes, we all do.
Definitely. All right, you guys.
All right.
Same place, same time.
Same bat channel.
Yeah, hopefully the next book club meeting we won't have technical issues there, because first none of us could hear you, and then the second time you got up we could hear you, but you couldn't see our comments.
Okay, so yeah, I have to check into that. Now I seen some people's comments because we were chatting back and forth, but I didn't see you. I seen you in the first one, but I did not see you in the second one. So yeah, I have to see what happened there.
Maybe my comments were going to the first one, even though I was seeing in the second one, my comments maybe were going to the first one. Maybe that was what was happening.
That's possible. But yes, you guys, if you are in the book club, in our book club group, we are doing a poll. So please make sure you put in your vote for our next read. Also, if you are in the book club and have read the book, please go to Amazon and give your honest review for Barbara Santiago and the read. I seen your review up there already, Mr. Charles. I put mine up there. Make sure, Teresa, you go and do a review. And make sure you guys vote for our next read. And,
I did that.
Oh, you already did that. And we will tally those up next Friday. All right.
All right.
See you.
Goodbye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.